Welcome back to Jab Cross Hook for episode 2. Carter Masterson along with Dean Pomeroy here. We're breaking down all the action from UFC 323. It was a stellar card, Dean. Some are saying card of the year. I might agree. There's 314 was good, 320 was really good, but I think that this was the card of the year. 2 championship fights, both go to the challenger. Let's get started at the bottom, though. Myron Santos defeated Muhammad Naimov. You were all over this one. Yeah. The Fighting Nerd starts his Fighting Nerd career off strong. He was a recent addition to the team. Takes down Naimov in round 3. He just looked like he was the better striker, and Naimov looked very ineffective with the takedowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Myron Santos showed off why he's a Fighting Nerd, why they're one of the best, training. They got some of the best fighters in the UFC right now. Myron Santos is on the come up. He's really young. I hope to see him get, someone good next. I don't know who, but someone better than Namaev. So we'll see.
He's going to have to figure out the weight issue. He was fined 20% of his purse, missed by 1.5 pounds. But this guy looks pretty solid. Since that Francis Marshall split decision that he did not win, he'd come back out, dominated Sadiq Youssef, who's decent, formerly ranked, and Muhammad Naimov, who's not the worst, but certainly nothing special. But 4-0 in the UFC for Myron Santos. I don't think the rankings are next for him.
Give him one more unranked.
I think he needs one more before you start looking at that, but a great finish to build up Myron Santos. Speaking of building up, Mansour Abdul-Malik moved to what should be 10-0. Instead, it's 9-0-1. He did exactly what we thought he would. Finished Antonio Trocoli in round 1. This guy just sucks. Yeah. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. This guy's just not good. He lost to Shar Magomedov, Tresean Gore, Mansour Abdul-Malik, all by finish. I mean, Shar was a classic Shar performance. Pieced him up on the feet, KO'd him late. Gore is terrible and submitted him. And Abdul-Malik, he looks really good. That's win streak going for him. He's now 2-0-1, really, 3-0-1, should be 4-0, like we mentioned. But that overturned draw where he just hit him with the head a little bit, and it was enough to call it. Abdul-Malik looks legit. Got a submission now on his resume. Still not rankings bound, I don't think. He's so young, 28. Keep building him. Give him like 2 or 3 more fights outside the rankings. A step up in competition is needed.
Yeah.
But I still think we keep it outside the rankings.
Yeah, there's not much to say about this fight. He was just winning it. Mansour is just better everywhere. And surprisingly, won by submission. I had him by KO. I think he could have won by KO if he wanted to. He just wanted to show off some of his, ground game. But there's really not much to say about this fight. Mansour Abdul-Malik, I'd like to see him get stepped up a little bit. I want to see him maybe fight someone better. Like I don't want to jump him because he's, so young. You should build him up the right way. But I mean, Vettori, who's on this card, could be a possible matchup. I mean, Vettori's lost 5 straight. If Mansour they could make that matchup happen, that would be, I think, a fun one. So that's something.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun matchups. I like that one you bring up. There's the big thing right now is that 185 division is stacked.
Yeah. There
is so many 185 pounders that are working their way up. That middleweight division is scary.
Yeah.
We got the scariest opening up on UFC 324. Obviously middleweight Francis Ngannou, as you like to call him.
Yeah.
I would love to see that fight one day.
One day.
Not yet. Can't kill off
2 prospects.
A prospect.
Yeah, or 1 prospect.
Yeah. Because someone's got to lose that fight.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fight we could see for the belt one day.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously a long ways to go till then. Moving on, Iwo Rudy Baranuski with a round 1 KO of the last Ottoman, Ibo Aslan. I mean, Baranuski did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Brought the fight, forced Ibo to strike with him. And this is why I wasn't too confident in my Baranuski pick, because Ibo can bang. Like he was hitting him on the feet. Like he had him rattled. I think he sat him down twice, but he just kept getting back up. Iwo walked through fire, got the more impactful shots. I do worry about his chin a little bit. Ibo's not the hardest hitter. He's a pretty hard hitter, but not the hardest at the 205 division. And Barnowski's chin looked a little suspect, but it held through, and he gave Aslan his first KO loss.
Yeah, that was possibly the best fight of the entire year. That fight was literally just two guys with crazy power just swinging. It looked like a bar fight or something, but I mean, there was 3 total knockdowns. I feel like it was more than that. Like, these guys were just hitting each other. Iwo fell down, got knocked down. Ibo got knocked down. They were just throwing. It was possibly the most entertaining minute-and-a-half fight I've ever seen in my entire life. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it may be a fight of the year finalist.
Yeah, for sure.
Come early January, but we'll see. Next up, Edson Barboza, Jalen Turner. Not much to talk about here. Barboza's wash. Turner might still be decent. Can't really take anything away from this fight because Barboza's so old and just not good anymore. This was a massive step down in competition for Turner after his loss to Bahamondes and his small retirement. I think we give him one more fight outside the rankings, but I mean, he looked just as good as he was before he left.
But again, this gets Jalen Turner on the right track, you know? Like, he needed a win, to be honest with you. He just, retired from MMA in his last fight and he came back. He just needed a win against someone, even if it's Barboza, who's technically a big name. So I feel like this is good for Jalen Turner. I'd like to see him get someone next. He's still a good fighter. So
moving on to the next one. You mentioned him earlier, Marvin the Italian Dream Vittori got taken down by Bruno Ferreira. Another weight miss here. Ferreira missed by 3 pounds. That proved not to be a problem. Ferreira proved he can go all 3. He looked a little questionable in the last one. It was his first time going into a decision. Vittori was tough, and he was striking with Ferreira. He just got hit way harder than he hit back, which is what I thought would be the issue going into this one. Yeah. I think the striking numbers were probably somewhat close in terms of total strikes, but significant strikes. It was Ferreira. Watching round 1 was kind of close. 2 and 3, Ferreira pulled away. That's a now 3-fight win streak. He's not in the rankings because they moved Pfeiffer back in instead. But I think he should be fighting for the rankings. You look at these wins. He's got a win over Robocop, who's 14th right now. Phil Hawes, Dustin Stoltzfus, and then a 3-fight win streak now versus Petrosian, McVeigh, and now Vittori. I think the rankings is easily next up for him.
Yeah, I think we got a new little prospect here at middleweight. I think Bruno Ferreira is extremely powerful. Beat Vittori. I mean, he didn't exactly crack the chin, but he had Vittori bleeding a little bit, which is good to see. And Vittori, he didn't have any urgency. Bruno's probably won every single round. Maybe you could give round 2 to Vittori, but I think Bruno Ferreira is a good fighter at middleweight. I'd like to see him, get a step up. I'd like to see him get a shot at the rankings. I don't think Vittori was ranked, right? I think because he was on that 4-fight losing streak, he wasn't ranked. So I'd like to see Bruno get a step up here. I'd like to see him fight inside the rankings, and I think you could definitely consider him a prospect.
Vittori was holding on to that 14th spot, but he really shouldn't have been.
Yeah, he hasn't won in years, I don't think.
His last win was 2023 versus Roman Dolidze, who he lost to in the rematch. Yeah. 50-45s across the board.
So, I mean...
I think if he doesn't want to hang him up, then it's time to do one more fight and then hang him up, because it's done. It's done.
For sure.
At least before this, you could say he was losing to the best of the best. I think Bruno Ferreira is decent. But he lost to Abos. He lost to Brusaboyev.
It's kind of like what's the point? Are you fighting for? Like, you're probably never going to touch gold at middleweight again if you're already this old and losing. So
I agree.
Yeah.
This one, I thought it was going to be way different than it played out. But Fares Ziam is for real a round 2 KO of Nazim Sadikov. No one does this to Nazim Sadikov. No one has ever done this to Nazim Sadikov. He hadn't been put out before this. He'd only been finished once. Mm-hmm. And it was impressive. It was never in doubt. Right from the opening bell, Ziam just dominated. He imposed the wrestling when he needed to. He looked really good on the ground. Sadikov just couldn't stop anything. Yeah. Whatever he started to focus on when it was the wrestling and he started giving up, then Ziam was giving him fits with the striking. Yeah. It was just, Ziam changed it up and just dominated.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I think it was an elbow that really finish the fight.
Yep.
I mean, fair to see him. He looks good everywhere. He's good on the ground. He's good in the clinch. He's good on the feet. He's rangy. He's tall for lightweight. Yeah. I mean, he definitely should be ranked. Honestly, I think he fits in really well in this lightweight division. I think he's a threat. I think he's a threat for that title shot.
Next up, Macy Barber versus another fighting nerd, Karine Silva. However, this one did not go the same way. It was Macy Barber, and it was really with the wrestling. There's not much to say other than that.
Yeah.
Macy Barber looked legit coming back after a while off. She got herself into the women's pound-for-pound ranking, sitting at that 15th spot. We'll see what she does from here. You'd imagine a shot at the belt would be next. Maybe they rebook that fight versus Erin Blanchfield.
Yeah.
It's been canceled twice now. She's only lost to Alexa Grasso and Roxanne Modafferi, that was UFC 246. It was headlined by Conor McGregor. That's how long ago it was. That she lost. So, it's been so long since she lost. I think title shot is coming up for Macy Barber.
Yeah.
But a title eliminator, I think, will be needed first.
Yeah. With this win, she doesn't even move up in the rankings. She literally just stays at number 5. So it's like, it's a good performance. She kind of showed that she's back.
She defended her spot in the rankings.
Yeah, she defended her spot, but I'd like to see her against. I think Blanchfield's a perfect matchup for women's flyweight. Valentina's the champ, so yeah, I'd like to see the rematch I'd like to see the Blanchfield fight get rebooked again for the 3rd time.
Well, I would like to see that as well. We'll see what happens, but that could very well happen at like a UFC 325 in late January. That might be a little too soon. Maybe you have to wait till 326 in March. But I think that's definitely a prelim, like a headline prelim fight right there between Barber and Blanchfield.
For sure.
Moving on, this was the fight that we were the most excited for before. Terrence McKinney has still not seen a final bell. It wasn't by KO like I thought, though. It was by sub, Chris Duncan. The fight played out exactly like we thought it would.
Yeah, crazy.
McKinney went for the wrestling early with the striking, cracked him, but he just gassed out. And Duncan's is just so tough. He had the pressure early. Duncan's chin held in there after he got wobbled. He came back, took care of business. McKinney showed some real toughness in this one, too.
Yeah.
He was getting beat. The fight only went 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Yeah. He was getting beat up on the ground for like 45 seconds, and then Duncan was like, you know what? I just want to be done.
Yeah.
Grabbed his neck, anaconda choke, said, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
4-fight win streak for Chris Duncan. His only loss in the UFC is to Manuel Torres. Once again, I think it's time to start looking towards the rankings for this guy. I don't think the next fight is for the rankings, but there's some guys right outside that 155-pound rankings that I think would make a great fight.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see him. Honestly, I think he's ready for the rankings. I think he's kind of proved. He beat Rebecki, who's a really tough opponent in the last fight, which was the fight of the night. It was a crazy fight. He was cut. He was hurt. He was bleeding. Rebecki was bleeding. I think he's done. I think he's shown off that he's ready for that ranking shot. And this fight was so interesting. Like McKinney, I feel like if he just had better fight IQ, he would have won this fight. He was really beating him up early on the feet, and he had a chance to finish. I feel like at least once or twice, and he just didn't capitalize. He ended up shooting, and Duncan sprawled it and just ended up getting on a dominant position and landing bombs on him. And then it was just over from there. He pulled the anaconda, and it was done. But kind of expected from Terrence McKinney.
I would like to see Terrence McKinney take one more fight outside the rankings. I think Rafa Garcia is an awesome fight. He's right outside the rankings. He won earlier this year against Jared Gordon. I don't think he's that good, but they will both stand and bang.
Yeah.
And I think that's another fight where it gets bloody, and I think that gives Duncan a chance to climb in the rankings.
For sure.
But I also don't think giving him a ranking shot right now is completely out of the question.
Yeah.
It would really be who you give him. I guess you could give him a Michael Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wouldn't mind if you just match made him against Jalen Turner and had these guys fight for a ranking shot. They're both right there. Turner was there before.
Yeah.
But speaking of ranked lightweight fighters, Grant Dawson, no longer one of them. He took a loss to Manuel Torres by first-round KO. This was back-to-back fights that I was fired up about because I just had the perfect read on it. Dawson couldn't get the wrestling going on Torres because Torres' takedown defense is really, really good.
Yeah.
He was patient and kept him on the feet until it was time to go. He cracked him and then just smelt the blood in the water and got him out of there. I think that's the way to beat Grant Dawson. Yeah. You know, Grant Dawson is a lay and pray guy. The way to neutralize that, knock him out, put him to sleep.
Exactly.
And I think that was great. I would love to see him fight Renato Moicano.
Exactly, I was going to say the same thing.
Moicano's on a 2-fight losing streak, of course, to the champ, the double champ, Islam Makhachev and Beneil Dariush. I think this is a fight he could win versus Manuel Torres. But I also think that'd be a very close matchup.
Yeah. I agree. I think Torres should fight Moicano. That was the exact matchup I was looking at just now. I don't know if the UFC will put that together because they really seem to like Moicano. They've given him, a lot of, I feel like some privilege, some Dana White privilege, But I'd like to see him fight down. I think at this point, losing 2 in a row, you got to fight down. And Torres is that guy right now, lightweight outside. He's probably the best guy outside the rankings. I think he is, and he's maybe or him or Bahamondes would be. Him. I'd like to see Torres, definitely get a shot at those rankings because he is definitely dangerous at lightweight.
I agree. Moving on to my least favorite fight on the card. Jan Blachowicz, with the Polish power versus Bogdan Guskov. During walkouts, Daniel Cormier just casually dropped that Jan Blachowicz can't lift weights anymore. And I was all over Guskov. I thought he was an absolute lock. Everyone was right. Everyone was right. I put way too much faith in Guskov. He's a bum.
Yeah.
He's a bum. He's overrated. His win over Krylov is only because they both walk in and throw punches, and it was whoever's chin cracked first gets the loss. He submitted Billy Ellicott. None of these losses are good. Or none of these wins are good. None of these wins are good. This is the second time fighting in the rankings that he didn't get the win. Realistically, if he didn't crack Jan's chin in round 2, he would have lost.
Yeah, for sure.
Guskov, the only time he got Jan down was when he tagged him as he was stepping backwards.
Yeah.
And then he just beat him up on the ground, but had no finishing instinct. He had at least 3 or 4 chances to get Blachowicz out of there. He looked like he did not want to be there. We were thinking he might quit on the stool because of how tired he looked.
Yeah.
And then Jan just goes out there in round 3 and just boxes his head off.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close. It was a draw. But, God, it was just such a disappointing fight.
The funny thing about this fight is it was probably the most, obvious draw I've ever seen. It was probably the most, textbook draw you could get. Having a guy win the first round, a 10-8, and then a guy win the second round. It was 100% draw. There's no questions in that. None of these guys deserved to win this fight. John got laid out in the second round, almost got finished. I don't know how Bogdan didn't finish that fight, man. He looked like he had John done. There was a point in the fight where John, I saw this. He was on the ground. It looked like he pulled something in his shoulder. The guy's 42, almost 43, and he screamed out something in his shoulder went wrong. I expected Bogdan to finish the fight there. And then coming into the third round, Jan looked good and won the round. It was so surprising to see that. I really thought he was finished. But Jan is just one of these interesting fighters. The guy hasn't won since 2022. He had a draw against Magomed, a loss to Pereira, and a loss to Olberg, and then another draw. So it's this is one of the most interesting records I've ever seen. But every one of these fights, you could technically make an argument that he won. So I think it's just kind of funny that John's record kind of turned out like that.
I really think it's time for him to hang him up.
Same.
He's 42. He'd be 43 next time he steps in the cage.
Yeah.
More than likely. And he hasn't really won a fight since he beat Israel Adesanya, because we mentioned that Rakic blew out his knee.
Yeah.
Career-altering injury for him in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And since then he's gone draw, loss, draw. And that draw versus Magomed Ankalaev realistically was not a draw. That was a loss.
Mm-hmm.
but it's the way it goes. He wants to keep fighting. He's a legend. I just hope it doesn't. It looks like it's trending towards him getting flatlined.
Yeah, the UFC, what they can do with him, though, is they can use him as a gatekeeper, and they can have whoever the next light heavyweight prospect is fight John. And hopefully they can hope that the prospect knocks him out or gets a highlight reel, because it can really boost up, some new prospects using John. So there you go.
The only problem for Blachowicz is there's not really, like, a fight to make there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no prospect in the rankings
Barely.
that should come up. Like, you could give the fight to Johnny Walker, I guess. You give it to Alonzo Menafield.
I like the Zhang
Menafield's coming off a loss, and
Yeah.
I like Mignon too. But how could you give Mignon that fight when he just lost to Walker?
Yeah.
The only other thing I'd see is maybe Uzumir, but maybe. I guess you could. That's probably
maybe
the fight to make.
Maybe Iwo could get a shot at the rankings after that knockout on Ibo Austin.
Not top 5 though. They couldn't jump him that high. I think it's probably Uzdemir, Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
But we'll see what they do with Blachowicz. For Guskov, I think he should be fighting down. I think he should fight Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
If he can beat Johnny Walker, then he's not that bad. Because I think Walker's a slightly better version of Bogdan Guskov.
Exactly.
Moving on, Peyton Talbot, everyone's new favorite bantamweight. He's moved up to number 12 in the rankings now, tied with Vinicius Oliveira. Henry Cejudo has been sent to the farm in the sky for UFC. He got absolutely dominated, 30-27. Talbot used his size all fight, showed levels. Anytime Cejudo got in the pocket, he was not able to work any striking or takedowns. It was actually Talbot who had the better wrestling in this fight.
Yeah.
I don't think Cejudo really wanted to wrestle that much. I think he just tried to. But like a 38-year-old on their way out, are you really going to work the wrestling in camp? No.
Yeah.
No.
Cejudo, frankly, just looked like a punching bag out there, man. He was getting lit up, and Talbot showed it all off. He had one of the takedowns he had. He was like smiling and shaking his tongue, and he was getting excited. Dude, Talbot showed off everything. I mean, if he can wrestle like that against a guy like Petr Yan or against a guy like Merab, I could definitely see this guy going pretty far in the bantamweight division.
He's also got the size.
Yeah, and he definitely didn't look. I mean, he's definitely been working on his wrestling. He did not look like that against Rosoni Barcelos, the fight he lost. The one fight he did lose in the UFC.
And not even against Felipe Lima did he look like that. He looked okay versus Felipe Lima. He defended the takedowns. He got taken down in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
He looked a lot better, but he did not look this good. Talbot looked like he could be a world beater.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's two options that you can give him for his next fight. I think one's the Sean O'Malley path, and you give him Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah.
Get him right into the top 5. Or Song Yadong coming off a loss if he loses to O'Malley.
Yeah.
Definitely won't give him O'Malley.
Yeah.
They want to make that fight for a belt one day.
Yeah.
Or for a number 1 contender at least. We will see that fight at some point though.
For sure.
The other option I think is Cheeto Vera, coming off a loss to Amon Zahabi. I mean, you really want to buy into Sean O'Malley plot. Give him Cheeto.
Yeah.
I mean, Vera's washed.
Yeah.
Showed some life for Zahabi, not too much. He lost by, was that split decision that he lost?
Yeah, I think so.
So he's showing life, but that'll be a real sign if he's got anything left. Talbot looked really, really good. Moving on to this was the feature fight. Tatsuro Taira. He is here, and he is happy, thank you. I mean, I'm shocked. Moreno didn't get a chance to show off his high-paced output style because Taira took him down and submitted him.
Yeah.
In the first round, he was stuck in a triangle, but really wasn't tight after the first minute.
Yeah.
He was safe.
Yeah, he was safe the whole time.
Lost that round maybe because he did get some good knees at the end.
Yeah.
I think he probably did lose that though. Then comes out, takes down Moreno. The back take was, I urge you to go watch him take Moreno's back because it was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
And then he just put his hooks in and started wailing away. A little bit of an early stoppage. Moreno was still moving. He wasn't getting Taira off his back though.
Yeah, I mean, Taira he's legit at flyweight, and you have to think now, the next fight we're moving on to is Josh Van and Pantoja. With that fight being what happened with Pantoja just breaking his arm, nothing happening, you have to think, Tyra's next. If Pantoja is out for, however long, 6 months to 10 months, for the whole year with that arm injury, Tyra's got to be next. You can't really say anything else. And it's got to be Van and Tyra for that next title shot. So, Tyra really showed that he's legit. He's young. He's 25. Moreno is obviously, he's shown that he's a ridiculously good striker, a good fighter. He's good everywhere. And Tyra just shut him down. The first round was really not really dominant round by anyone. Moreno just kind of was trying to get a triangle, and Tyra in that second round really showed that his ground and pound's good, and that takedown, that back take was so skillful. I'd love to see him get that shot.
Yeah, and for Moreno, it's kind of tough sledding. He's now down to 4th at flyweight. Manel Kopp has a chance to jump him this week. Who do you give him for his next fight? I say there's a couple options. Moreno versus Urseg would be a great fight. Urseg gave Pantoja fits, so I'd love to see him get back in title contention. Kyoji Horiguchi just got that great win and was calling for Pantoja. Obviously, that's not going to happen because he's no longer the champ. That was really the only way he'd get a title shot sitting at ranking number 8. But if Horiguchi beats Moreno, and then let's say Pantoja gets his belt back, that's the fight to make. Yeah. Or you could give him Azuam Mabayev, who's coming off a submission win over Alex Perez. I don't know. There's a couple options you can give Moreno, but I think all of them involve fighting down.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe even a lot down, because he's now lost 3 out of his last 5 with wins over Albazi. Oh, I guess he's not going to fight Urseg because that's who he beat his last time out. Yeah. But yeah, there's options for Brandon Moreno. We touched on this earlier. Pantoja's arms snaps. Nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, really.
We'll just move right on. Josh Van.
The only thing I can talk about is Josh Van celebrated like he, knocked out. I get it. You won the flyweight championship, but that's not a way you want to win. The fight really didn't even happen. All it was like 2 guys. What can we even say? What did we even see out of that fight? Nothing. We just saw 2 fights, 6 strikes landed from Pantoja, 2 from Van, and then it was a takedown and posted the arm and it broke. I'm happy for Josh Van. I think this is good for the UFC flyweight division, but I think it creates a lot of different matchups. But I just really feel for Pantoja, man. He's worked so hard. There's a story. He used to be a DoorDash driver while he was the champ, like 3 years ago. He was doing DoorDash. The guy is, he's such a hard worker. Pantoja is one of my favorite fighters. I just really feel for him. He's going to have to really recover here and try to get back. And I think he should get an immediate title shot when he is back because he deserves it. He deserves it.
They'll definitely give him the title shot as soon as he's back. But the saying goes with these fighters that are so good for so long, once it goes, it goes. Yeah. And it's hard to say that it's gone because we didn't see him get beat, really. Yeah. We saw Van defend a takedown well. Yeah. And freak accident. Yeah. It's a great win for Van. He's the champ. He gets the money. Van's story's awesome too. His mom holding the belt was a really awesome sight to see. Yeah. But no one wants to win that way. I hope he gets a chance to beat Pantoja the right way. Yeah. Because that's what he wants to. He wanted his moment. He's the champion. That's what he's been working his whole life for. Last but not least, oh my God, the fight that put everyone in a blender. Merab Dvalishvili. What we were saying, this fight is for his goathood of Bantamweight. We actually said both of those fights were to make them potentially the GOAT, and they both lost. Petr Yan looked really, really good, and that's not that much of a surprise because we know Yan could have had a crazy championship run. If he didn't have that illegal knee versus Sterling, he defends the belt versus Sandhagen. He defends the belt. He never fights Sean O'Malley. He probably doesn't take on Merab hurt, takes on Merab healthy, and beats him. So you can't say you can't go off the maybes, of course. Yeah. But it looks like that fight really did change the timeline of UFC because Petr Yan looked unreal. He defended all the takedowns. Yeah. Except 2. Merab got one really good takedown that I think actually gave him a really good chance in the third when he picked up Yan and slammed him. But, I mean, Yan got right back up and then boxed his head off, took the round. Yep. I had this fight closer than most. I had it 47-47 going into the final round. I had Merab winning rounds 1 and 2. You had it 49-46 at the end of the fight. I think you gave Merab round 2, which is pretty consensus. But, man, I personally think this fight was still really close. Yeah. Just because all the rounds were close. But I have no problem with someone saying 49-46. But I also see an argument, like a very outside argument for a Merab 48-47. That 5th round was really close. That 3rd round was even close, but Yan bloodied him up too much for that to be Merab's round. And I think the takedown at the end of 5 for Yan easily gives him that round. Yeah, a lot of people are arguing for a 5-0 Petr Yan which is not crazy. Not crazy at all. Yeah, and I mean, Petr Yan really, I mean, gosh, he put it on Merab. I mean, Jesus, he bloodied him up early. He figured him out in that 1st round. I think there's an argument he lost that 1st round, but dude, he just downloaded the information like he always does. 1st round and 2 for 29, making Merab go 2 for 29. That's just ridiculous. No one does that. Petr Yan is an absolute freak of nature. He's always been a freak of nature, really. I mean, you look at all of his fights, he's never really been like all of his recent losses, which were in 2022, all of them are, you could argue he won. Like the Sean O'Malley fight, personally, I think he won that fight. The Aljamain Sterling fight, I think he won that fight. I feel like looking back at his record, you could have seen this coming. You could have seen how good Petr Yan actually is. It is an upset when you're looking at it, because Merab, how good he is, man. But I feel like looking at his record, you could have seen this coming. And I'd like to see, I know the UFC is going to want to give O'Malley a title shot or something like that, some ridiculous. You gotta rematch these two. It's Merab. I think they probably rematch in April, UFC 327. Maybe they hold them until, I don't think they hold them all the way to June for the White House. Yeah. But this would be a great fight to have on the front lawn. For sure. Oh my gosh. But wow, it was crazy to see Merab just get dominated like that. It was. I didn't think it was possible. Maybe the weight cut had something to do with it. Having to cut weight 4 times in a year drains the hell out of you. Yeah. And Merab cuts a lot of weight. So maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I think it did. I think maybe. I still think Petr Yan could have won, but I'm really looking forward to seeing a well-rested Merab versus Petr Yan, hopefully in April or May. Yeah. That'll be a great fight. That'll be a great fight. These guys, and a lot. There's a stigma out there that going to decisions is boring. Not these guys. Yeah. These guys fight very entertaining fights. They just don't have the pop in their hands or the submission ability. Mm-hmm. Petr Yan definitely does, though. I mean, did you see the one? I watched a breakdown of the fight. After rewatching it a little bit, there was Petr Yan's striking is just so skilled. There was one skilled where he he faked up and he body kicked Merab and so technical. Merab literally shouted out happened 3 or 4 times. And that's how hard Petr Yan was kicking. He's just so skilled. He's so accurate. His striking is so fun to watch. I think you got to rematch these guys, and hopefully in the rematch we see maybe a better version of Merab, because I genuinely think in the post-fight interview Merab did say he doesn't want to make any excuses or anything, stuff like that. But I do think the weight cut really did take a toll on him. Who knows what kind of injuries he's dealing with when you have to go through 4 training camps in a year. Who knows? Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? But we need a rematch because we need an immediate rematch because I just want to see a better version of Merab in there. I know Merab is one of the best bantamweights of all time, and I know that
I think this wasn't his best performance, and I think he could definitely, in the rematch, go and fight way better. So
I agree.
we could definitely see that.
The improvement from Jan from his fight versus Marcus McGee, who was ranked 15th at the bantamweight division, it was crazy. I mean, McGee easily took round 1, and then round 2 was somewhat close until Jan took it towards the end.
Yeah.
The fact that he could go from doing that versus Marcus McGee to dominating Merab Dvalishvili,
Just how good is Marcus McGee though? I'm joking. Who knows?
No, let's get McGee up the rankings.
Yeah.
But wow, it was the changing of the guard.
Shell-shocking.
Changing of the guard this weekend. We were shocked.
Yeah.
We were also shocked by how bad our picks were of our bets. Both of our bankroll builders lost. I had Moreno. He had Abdul Malik by KO.
Yeah.
I had Guskov by round 2 KO for feeling frisky. I had Jalen Turner by round 2 KO. Fortunately, got him out of there a little too quickly. It was looking good for a little bit for both of us there.
Yeah.
And then yours ended too quick.
I guess I
And my guy-
overestimated Edson Barboza. I thought he was a little better than I thought he would last a round, but I guess not. Yeah.
And my guy should have had a round 2 KO at plus
Yeah.
600, but he forgot how to fight. Our get rich quick scheme of the weeks, they weren't good. You had Vittori and Blachowicz in yours. I had Sadikov, Merab, and Naimov in mine. My top dog was Naimov. Did not come through. Your top dog was Joshua Van, who did come through at plus 205.
Yeah.
UFC 323, one of the greatest cards of 2025, and sending us into an exciting 2026 where we will see Paramount Plus come in. That first card, UFC 324, should be really, really exciting. But that will do it for this one. Carter Masterson, Dean Pomeroy signing off from Jab Cross Hook, Episode 2.